No.
It's such a special
They're
film.
so not watching any of my stuff. It's really annoying. One of them has seen Bend It Like Beckham.
We'll take that.
Yeah, there we go.
Kira's adding another movie to her resume, The Woman in Cabin 10. The best-selling book turned psychological thriller streams tomorrow on Netflix. Kira plays a passenger on a luxury yacht who witnesses a crime and no one believes her.
Someone's gone overboard.
Everyone's accounted for.
Talk to me about shooting on this yacht.
I think the yacht would be very nice if you happened to be a guest on the yacht in normal times.
So there were a lot of restrictions. No shoes, you couldn't walk on that carpet, you couldn't lean against that wall. So it sounds like we're complaining.
Which we are.
Live from KSAT 12, the news at 5 starts right now.
We fight for so much to get so little and have something like a crosswalk be taken away.
Could San Antonio's Rainbow Crosswalk be erased on governor's orders? Governor Abbott calling for the removal of all political ideologies from streets. What city leaders say could come next.
And we have a few stray showers on authority radar. We'll get to those, show you where they are, where they're headed, and Jerry in the Atlantic and two systems in the Pacific, where all that tropical moisture ends up in just a bit.
And 2 years at war, and now Israel and Hamas are on track to possibly put it to an end. Coming up, how local groups are reacting after President Donald Trump announced the first steps in a ceasefire deal. First at 5, Governor Greg Abbott wants political ideologies removed from Texas streets, and now questions about whether that means rainbow crosswalks in a historic part of San Antonio north of downtown could be wiped away. The governor warned that cities that don't comply will face consequences. Sarah Acosta talks to people in that community and their city representative about what comes next.
Local artist Lakey360 got up early to start beautifying the sidewalks of the Pride District near the Rainbow Crosswalk on Main Avenue in Evergreen.
Show them, hey, like, I don't know why your government's coming at you, but, you know, there are people in your community who care.
This after he heard about Governor Greg Abbott's directive to TxDOT to enforce removal of all political ideologies from Texas streets, citing safety reasons. He says it's his small way of protesting in a peaceful way.
If each of us do our little parts that we can to make it a little prettier, I think it makes it a little easier for all of us.
The Rainbow Crosswalk was installed in 2018 after Pride SA donated over $19,000 for the rainbow paint and upkeep, and the city spent $12,000 installing it. District 1 Councilwoman Dr. Suk Kaur says the city is working to file an exemption with the state.
They are trying to scare us and withholding funding from TxDOT, which we actually don't know yet how many millions of dollars that includes. So I feel like this is just another flex from the state.
We requested an interview with the governor on Wednesday about this issue, and we were denied. We've reached out again, and they are processing our request.
The road is a road is a road. But it is trying to send a message that it is not okay for us to exist here, that we are wrong, and that we should just go back into hiding.
Iridescent is a local drag queen. She says it does feel like an attack on her community, and she says she will continue to fight.
It feels weird talking about a crosswalk like all emotional, but it really, really is, because it's just what it represents, the years of fighting, the years of older gay and lesbian people fighting for our rights to exist in San Antonio.
Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News.
The city sent us a statement this afternoon, in part saying, quote, the city is now working with TxDOT to understand the state's specific areas of local concern. There are no immediate plans to make changes to any roadways, and any future changes will occur with city council input. A high school student now facing criminal charges after bringing a gun to school. This happened at Lee High School and NEISD. The principal sent a letter to parents this morning telling them about that discovery. The school says they received a report that the student might have a gun. Administration and NEISD police found that student, and then they found the weapon in their backpack. We don't know if it was loaded. We went to the high school and asked parents how they felt about that finding.
As soon as they found out, they were, let's go, come on, let's get the situation and get over it before it gets out of control. So they stopped it before it got bad. Okay. So as far as I'm concerned, they did their job. Okay. You know, I'm proud of them for doing that they did, because we don't know what could happen. Tonight, the school is reminding students that if they see or hear something, to report it.
Another student, meantime, taken into custody, this time in Medina Valley ISD. That student is accused of threatening to shoot up Lacoste Elementary School. In a letter, the district says the Medina Valley ISD Police Department first received that report overnight. They did not find any weapons in the accused student's home. However, that student was still taken into custody. Today, there was an increased police presence on campus. The principal telling parents to make sure kids know that making threats of any kind can lead to serious consequences. All right, let's get a first check of the forecast out there. Adam, you can tell the humidity was a little bit lower, and I like it.
A smidge, right? And it's going to be much better starting tomorrow, especially in the afternoons. The nights and mornings won't be quite as dry in terms of the air, but at least there will be a noticeable difference on the way. Authority radar has a few showers just south of Cotulla, LaSalle County here, in and around I-35 south of Dilley and Cotulla. And then we get north of Del Rio in very rural Valverde County, and then also Kinney County, just outside of Bracketville. A little bit of action here, and looks like two outflow boundaries about to collide just north of Bracketville. And as those outflow boundaries would collide, then you would anticipate possibly new development there. Otherwise, we just have the fair weather cumulus clouds, which as the sun gets lower in the sky, we start to lose these patchy cumulus clouds. A lot of moisture in the Pacific. We have two tropical storms, and I'll show you where that moisture is going to make it in Texas and how close it could get to San Antonio in just a bit.
All right, Adam, thank you. An emotional day in court for a teenager charged with the murder of a 14-year-old boy.
I would like to be there for my family. You know, it's hard being here.
That 16-year-old, along with his 14-year-old brother, were first charged with capital murder for the death of Simon Cuevas. But that charge has since been downgraded to assault causing bodily injury. Back on April 16th, Cuevas was found shot near SAISD's Brewer Academy after police say he was attacked by a group of people. In court today, the judge told both teenagers they have until October 23rd to decide whether they will take a plea deal or go to trial. For now, the brothers will remain in juvenile detention. A search underway now, search for answers after a man was found shot to death outside of a store on the west side. San Antonio police responded to that scene near historic Old Highway 90 and Acme Road just before 3 this morning. They found a car with several bullet holes in the windshield. They believe that car belonged to the victim. Right now, investigators are reviewing security video from that store, but they have not shared any details about a possible suspect. A man was left with life-changing brain injuries after a 2017 hit and run, and now his family is asking for accountability from the Bexar County justice system and the woman responsible. Our Patty Santos has been following the Belknap family's story for 8 years now. They tell Patty that they're angry the judge is not enforcing her own orders.
There's 11 plates and 50 screws from the eyebrow line down to the jawline.
That's Matthew Belknap, 12 weeks after he was struck by a driver while riding his bike to work. The driver, later identified as Marissa Ross, was charged with failure to stop and render aid.
Marissa Ross still has another DWI charge to deal with.
For 8 years, we've been following Belknap's recovery from his bedside, seeing him walk again to this day in August 2019 when Ross pled no contest.
There's nothing that can be done about what's happened to me, and I'm as good as I'll probably ever be.
In January 2020, 6 months later, the Belknaps, Judge Jennifer Peña and Ross agreed to a shock probation deal. Shock probation is considered for low-level or first-time nonviolent offenders. It involves a short jail stay followed by probation terms, requiring drug court screenings and a DWI intervention program. Ross was also ordered to spend 2 weeks caring for Matthew in Georgia, where he now lives, 1 weekend in jail each year, and to send monthly letters to the Belknaps about her treatment.
I dug really deep, honestly, and every bit of grace I could find, because she was a young lady, and I understand we make mistakes.
Katie thought it would establish a relationship between families after a tragedy and ensure she didn't just serve a short jail sentence.
This was way harder, so if she went out of jail, this was the stipulations. She got out of jail and she didn't follow the rules. She chose what she followed.
By the way, that misdemeanor DWI was dismissed at 6. We're going to take a look at what's happened with the court order and why the family reached back to us for help.
That was our Petty Santos reporting. Israel and Hamas have agreed to the immediate terms of a ceasefire deal. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reportedly approved the deal today. This comes just days after the 2-year mark of the start of the Israel-Hamas war. According to that deal, Hamas will have 72 hours to release remaining Israeli hostages. In return, Palestinian prisoners will be released, and Israel will withdraw some of its troops from Gaza. The news sparking celebrations and relief around the world, including right here in San Antonio.
This means everything to the Jewish communities in San Antonio and in Texas. It's been a long 2 years that we've been waiting for our hostages to come home and for this war to end.
The group San Antonio for Justice in Palestine also reacted to the ceasefire deal in a statement to KSAT. It alleged Israel has violated ceasefires before and called for a separate state. The statement also said, quote, "This moment demands more than another pause. It demands justice and accountability," end quote. Her drive to win games is what helped her fight for her own life. A 15-year-old from Floresville spent more than 2 years battling a rare blood cancer. She tells our Daniela Ibarra about her journey.
I mean, I was here every weekend when it was soccer season.
On this Floresville field, 15-year-old Jalen Escobedo grew up practicing her kicks and passes. More than 2 years ago, a fast, aggressive, and rare cancer sidelined her soccer career. At 13 years old, doctors diagnosed Jalen with T-cell leukemia.
When you found that out, what was that like for you? It was hard because I love the sport. I mean, I did get my lung punctured while I had my port placed. I had high methotrexate toxicities. My journey was pretty rough.
Her mom, Laura, went from cheering Jalen on at games to rallying for her recovery.
Yes, absolutely. And that's all I wanted to do was be there for her through all her appointments, through every infusion, every poke, and every tear that she shed.
And there were a lot, even now.
It's hard to look back as well because, I mean, I went through a lot.
It's why she's sharing her story at Blood Cancer United's Light the Night. Jalen, who is now in remission, is this year's honored hero.
So you're one of this year's honored heroes. What does that mean to you? It means a lot because I get to share my story and I get to help others as well.
And like a good teammate, she wants to continue to help others.
And I want to be a nurse to someone like that who's going through cancer as well, as a child especially. You get it. I understand what they're going through, and I mean, I would love to help kids. That's my dream.
In Floresville, Daniela Ibarra, KSAT 12 News.
She's definitely a hero. Jalen's mom says they spent a lot of time going from Floresville to University Hospital for treatment. She says Blood Cancer United helped them out a lot by supporting them with a travel stipend. So Light the Night is happening this Saturday at 6 p.m. at the Rocket Lock in Terra. You can scan that QR code there on your screen to donate. Admission is free and registration is open to anyone who wishes to participate. More than 3 years after the Robb Elementary School shooting, the doors are about to open to the brand new Legacy Elementary School in Uvalde. Our Ernie Zuniga spent the afternoon getting a private tour of that $60 million campus before the official ribbon cutting tomorrow morning.
They will be known as the Coyotes, the 600-plus students who will call Legacy Elementary School home when the doors open on Monday, October 20th. This campus is beautiful, and it's a long time coming. 116,000 square feet, more than $60 million to build, and a huge piece in the overall healing that has happened here in Uvalde since the Robb Elementary School shooting back in May of 2022. How big is opening this school in the big picture in terms of the healing process and moving forward as a community?
I mean, that's what we've considered it. It's part of a journey of healing. And this is just one stop because healing will continue to occur.
The Robb Elementary shooting victims' families are here this evening for a special dinner, reception, and tour of the campus before a public ribbon cutting tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And I am planning to be here for that, and we'll have coverage throughout the morning tomorrow on GMSA. For now, in Uvalde, I'm Ernie Zuniga, KSAT 12 News.
Let's take a look outside with live cam. A little drop in that humidity today, but Adam, it's the mornings, the change in temperature there I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and the humidity drop, I mean, is going to be more significant in the days ahead, starting tomorrow than every afternoon thereafter. But once we see lower humidity, then we also get mornings that I have a hard time saying are cooler because it's still above average for this time of year, but not as warm. Let's start with tomorrow morning at sunrise. Temperatures between about 66 and 68 in and around San Antonio and Bexar County, and a little bit lower in outlying areas. Bernie 62, Comfort 63, Seguin about 66 for that morning low. But after a few muggy mornings in the mid 70s, we're looking at a trend in the mid to upper 60s going forward for the foreseeable future. Probably the coolest in town, about 64. That would be Sunday morning, but keep in mind, that's still a degree above average for this time of year. Okay, an update on the Pacific tropical systems. Tropical Storm Priscilla, Tropical Storm Raymond, and then no other areas we're watching of concern out there as of now. These two systems, they're going to be tracking into the southwestern U.S., at least the leftovers of them. Obviously, the tropical storm it's not going to be a tropical storm, but the leftover rain-making energy and upper-level moisture is going to be moving in, and even skirting parts of West Texas. Problem is for us, upper-level high, big blue H, it dominates right over central Texas, and it has that clockwise circulation around it. So it's going to pull some of that moisture in from the Pacific. Not only that, it's kind of a squeeze play. A few upper disturbances coming into the West Coast, so that's funneling all of this good tropical rain-making energy and moisture and rain into Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, and parts of West Texas getting in on some of the action. So the Four Corners states, West Texas, and even northern Mexico will be winning the rain lottery from those Pacific systems. But keep in mind, they need the rain too. It's not just us, but Arizona and New Mexico are deep into drought. This is the newest drought monitor, by the way. 26% of Texas considered in drought. No major changes here, just a little extra yellow in parts of the hill country, including Kerrville, and otherwise it's pretty much the same. We need rain. Tropical Storm Jerry not going to bring any moisture our way. It's going to stay out to sea as a Category 1 hurricane, likely passing just east of Bermuda. 92 right now, dew point of 61, so just on the edge of that muggy feeling. 60 and up is when you feel the mugginess. Not muggy in Pleasanton, 57-degree dew point, 59 Fredericksburg. But these numbers are going to drop even more in the afternoons ahead. Friday through the weekend, and now it looks like even through next week, we're going to have afternoon dew points in the 40s and 50s. So it's still going to be warm and above average in the low 90s, but at least the dew points and the humidity will take a hit. 86 Del Rio, actually a little bit cooler than about 30 minutes ago because of an outflow boundary. 91 in Bulverde. 92 at the airport, 83 at 9 o'clock. By 11 o'clock, we're at 79. 68 tomorrow morning, but 93 and sunny by the afternoon. So another day in the low 90s, even mid 90s in some areas. Despite the lower humidity, afternoon still above average, Myra.
All right, Adam, thank you. Larry joining us now. And Larry, the Spurs, they had a star from the 3 last night.
Yeah, Julian Champagnie. I mean, that's what the Spurs pay him for. 3-and-D guy, played good defense, hit threes when he's open. And last night he did that for the Silver and Black. And in the WNBA Finals, the Aces, Asia Wilson came up clutch. We got it coming up.
Julian's been with us a few years. I think he's pretty clear what his role is, and I think he's playing within himself.
Julian Champagnie was one of the many bright spots for the Spurs last night in big board sports. The Spurs are 2-0 this preseason after beating the Heat 112-107 last night. Julian Champagnie had it going on from three-point range in this one. He made his first 5 3-pointers, and he finished the night 5 for 7 from downtown. On a couple of those threes, Luke Cornett set the screen to free up Champagnie. The Spurs win by 5, and Champagnie was getting open, and he was knocking them down.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's an effect of me knowing how guys want to play and just spacing and making myself available for them to pass when they get doubled. You know, Vic, De'Aaron, whoever else, Dev, KJ. So I think it's just a knowing, like a KYP, know your personnel type of deal.
Yeah. Adam Flagler and Victor Wembanyama had the play of the game last night on this alley-oop dunk. Flagler tossed it up to the big man, and Wemby finished in style. Vic had 10 points, 4 boards, 5 assists, and 2 block shots last night, and that awesome Oop. So the Spurs are back home and they will take on the Jazz tomorrow night at 7 at the Frost Bank Center. In the WNBA Finals, Las Vegas beat Phoenix last night, taking a 3-0 series lead. The Aces led by 17 entering the fourth, but found themselves tied at 88 with 5 seconds left in the game, and that's when the Aces turned to Asia Wilson, who knocked down the game winner with 1/10 of a second left on the clock. Phoenix missed a desperation shot at the other end. The Aces survived 90-88, and after the game, Wilson talked about the blind trust that they have.
We know we should have been there. It's kind of like we just continue to understand and hold each other accountable for big moments, and don't hang our heads on the mistake maybe in the moment, but just keep encouraging each other. And I think that just blind trust comes from just understanding that your teammate is going to hold you accountable, but they're also going to be there for you, and they're going to be the first one to root you on in these moments. And I think you saw that just throughout the course of the game.
San Antonio's Nalissa Smith had 2 points last night for the Aces, coming on this reverse layup. Kiana Williams did not play for the Mercury. The Aces will look to win the WNBA championship tomorrow night. Myra.
Right, we'll be watching. Thanks, Larry. We'll be right back. Let's take a look at TransGuide before we let you go here. I-35 at Judson, plenty of sunshine and plenty of construction. Traffic also at a standstill both on the main lanes as well as the access road. So just something to keep in mind. Slow going I-35 at Judson. Adam.
Yeah, that's a very familiar sight. The construction. 93 our high today. The average high 85. We're going to be above that. Notice we missed the record high by 1 degree. I mean, that's how above average we are. We're actually flirting with record high temperatures. Now, tomorrow morning, not as warm. 68 San Antonio, low 60s in the hill country, 62 Fredericksburg, Kerrville, 63. But afternoons remaining just as warm. At least the humidity's going to be gone starting tomorrow afternoon.
All right. Thanks, Adam. Thank you.